Hello, my name is Jim Kodak, and I'm a director at KPMG's Advisory Customer Solutions Division. And it is absolutely my honor and my privilege to join Murali Rudajaru in today's session at Salesforce's Service Changemakers. So before we go into introductions and more information, I'd like to remind everybody of KPMG's privacy policy. By registering for this event, the personal information you provide on this site may be shared with KPMG LLP, and you may be contacted regarding the firm's products and solutions. For more information, please go to our website. And with that, I would like to go ahead and start talking about the challenges that we've had in this past year. As everyone knows, there have been many challenges on many levels. This global pandemic has changed everyone's lives in a manner that we haven't seen in over 100 years. COVID-19 has forced our civilization to rethink and reevaluate everything that we do in our daily lives, from how we obtain our groceries, how we greet our friends and other people, and of course, how often we wash our hands. This pandemic has also provided an opportunity for business to reflect and evaluate their strategic objectives, to address how to interact with customers, and to focus their efforts on customer satisfaction. Without the ability to meet in person with customers over this past year, some businesses have updated their customer care models to ensure that customers can more easily order products and services, increase customer satisfaction, and lower customer churn. Today, we're going to speak with one company, Omnicell, who has spent the last year to improve their B2B online ordering web presence, have improved and increased customer touchpoints, and have increased their level of customer satisfaction. It is my honor and my privilege to introduce Murali Rudajaru from Omnicell. Murali, can you tell me a little bit about your background and tell me and the folks that are watching this webinar, who is Omnicell and what do they do for a business?
Thank you, Jim. Hello, everyone. I'm Murali Rudaraju. I'm responsible for the business applications at Omnicell, and I drive the development and execution of the strategic roadmap for Omnicell. Our customers are health systems, hospitals, pharmacies, and long-term care facilities. And the Omnicell's autonomous pharmacy management system provides the workflow automation, data intelligence, and tech-enabled services that allow caregivers everywhere to focus on improving the patient outcomes. The autonomous pharmacy of Omnicell transforms the pharmacy care delivery model and improves the outcomes and lowers the cost of medication management. The transformation is achieved through a combination of automation, intelligence, and tech services powered by a data platform that empowers pharmacists and clinicians to focus on patient care. Actually, Omnicell is in the midst of all the activity that is going on to support our customers.
Very impressive, Murali. If I can ask one more question for those of us who don't often visit the doctor's office or the hospital. If I were in a hospital, can you describe to me maybe one of the units that I would see that are manufactured by Omnicell?
Yes, Jim. So if you're in a hospital and you're going into a ward and you're admitted, the cabinets that you see behind the nurse's station where all the medication is stored, that's one of Omnicell's equipment. And if you're in the room and you're getting an IV, the station that you see, the liquid, the mixture, is something that Omnicell manufactures.
Very, very impressive. Thank you for sharing that. So let's talk a little bit about COVID-19 and how it's affected Omnicell. It was a disruptor for your business, obviously, and for your customers. Can you talk a little bit or share a little bit about what adjustments that you made both for yourself and how adjustments affected your ability to communicate and interact with your customers?
Yes, yes, Jim. So on the internal side, Omnicell is a healthcare technology company and an essential business during this pandemic. we had to ensure business continuity throughout this pandemic without any stoppage to support our customers that are in the front end of all of this that's happening. And in addition, we had to closely monitor the shipments from our suppliers to ensure that our manufacturing is continuing without any interruption, and we are able to meet the commitments to our customers. And the third most important one is due to this pandemic, we had a challenge in working face-to-face with our customer and being in front of their, in their facilities to support them. And Omnicell had to change the way we support our customers by implementing new solutions to perform remote support. And on the customer side, what we have seen is customers ran into challenges with receiving support from us and probably other partners in the interest of the staff, patients, and us. The other thing that we have seen with the customers is most of the customers have expedited their digital transformation programs due to this situation because of the pandemic.
So because Omnicell makes products that dispense medications that are in the patient rooms providing IVs and other support services to the patients and to the doctors and the nurses, it sounds like Omnicell really was a frontline critical care company providing absolutely needed services to their customers worldwide. But at the same time, you also had to make sure that you're maintaining that relationship with your customer base. So it sounds like you changed some of your, what I call customer contact models associated with that, and were able to stay in touch. Even though the pandemic was occurring, you were able to stay in touch with your customers. Was Salesforce kind of the heart of or part of the way you maintain those relationships with your customer base?
Yes, Jim, Salesforce solutions were at the center of all the activity because Salesforce is something that we use as a part of our Sales Cloud. And the other important piece of this model has been the customers have been forced to change the way they perform all of their activities, including purchases. Even in our daily life, we have gone to more online purchases. The same thing happened with our customers. The purchases, all the purchases, most of the customers are now preferring online. The second thing is the entire journey or all the touch points, there has been increased emphasis to be more self-service rather than being in front of the customers. So what we have done is we have improved or changed our delivery model and the touch points, more self-service on the support side, self-service on the quoting and digital signatures. The next one is the online purchases. We implemented Salesforce B2B commerce that enabled our customers to purchase our products online. So all in all, across all the touch points, we have tried to be enable more self-service for the customers, and Salesforce solutions have been in the middle of all of this. The Sales Cloud, the MuleSoft solution, and the B2B commerce.
That sounds absolutely wonderful and fascinating. So it sounds like that due to COVID, because you weren't able to be in front of your customers on a daily basis, you utilized the Salesforce solution set, Sales Cloud, B2B commerce, et cetera, in order to allow your customers to order online, to be able to provide a little bit more self-help or self-service through the Salesforce portal, and at the same time provide even more touch points and more closeness to your customer base.
Yes, Jim, this has been a big change. Traditionally, a lot of our activities have been in person because of the critical nature, and this pandemic has introduced a big change in the behavior of our customers and the situation itself, just like any of us now. We are preferring, all purchase online, curbside pickup, no touch. So we have implemented solutions across the board, starting from our initial demonstration of our solutions, then the purchasing process, then delivery process of our equipment, and even service. We implemented solutions that are remote. As an example, we implemented AR solutions so that we can see the equipment from our offices and provide support to the customers. On the delivery side, we implemented some solutions so that the customers can install some of the equipment by themselves. So all of this because of this change.
Fascinating. Do you see any other big challenges or learnings that you've had within the IT department, either around your infrastructure or your Salesforce ecosystem?
Yeah, some major challenges that we have seen during this implementations is the first one is the discrete systems and processes. Omnicell has undergone rapid growth. That's number one. And number two, some organic and inorganic growth as well. As a result, there are a number of systems and processes, and a number of new business models have been implemented. All of this has resulted in a need for consolidation. The second challenge that we have seen is the master data management across the organization. Different models, systems, and acquisitions. Master data become very critical, and that's another challenge that we have seen. The third major challenge is the change management, which we have seen with this COVID. Preparing the customers and internal teams for this change, this touchless experience that the customers and all of us would like or prefer. So having this change management across the board and adapting to this major change in how we implement these systems. So that's another challenge that we have seen. And from a learning side, what we have learned is there is the simplifying the processes is one of the most important things that we learned. The more simpler the processes and lean, easier to scale and implement. Second thing is reducing these exceptions. That's the other thing that we have seen. The second learning that we had from all of this implementations is the automation and digitizing the processes. Especially with this pandemic, customers are across the globe, and most of the employees had to go remote. The need for automating and digitizing the processes has gained a lot of importance. In the past, probably we were printing some things, storing in those files. All of that is not a possibility these days. The third one is understanding the customer needs and experience. That's the critical part, the user experience. Understanding that before we implement something, being in their shoes is the most critical thing that we have seen. Those are the learnings that we had from these implementations and transformation.
Very interesting, Murali. I noticed that you talked a lot about the customer experience and the ability for your company to understand the customer better, actually predict some of their needs, and therefore be proactive rather than reactive. Have you seen any changes in regards to IT in the sense of being a business partner, if you will, with your internal business customers and alignment along corporate strategic objectives? Has this given you the ability to tighten the alignment of IT, or have you seen any changes along those lines?
Yeah, good question, Jim. This has been a big change, at least from my experience in the recent past. I've seen a big change in how IT is, the role of IT. First one is in the past, IT was probably in a supporting role, but now I see IT as an enabler of the corporate strategic objectives. and the organization sees it that way, and it is important for IT to rise to that occasion. There's a lot more tighter collaboration and alignment between the business and IT. That's number one. And second one, IT is looked upon to introduce best practices and technologies while enabling the key capabilities. Some examples, AI, so more predictive. Probably in the past it was more, looking at in the rear view mirror, but now we want a predictive way, predictive analytics. RPA, more automation and digitization. Then cloud solutions. All of those, the organization is looking at IT to come up with these solutions that will, scale the business. And the last thing is the need to be nimble and, being quick to adapt to the changing business needs. The market dynamics and the situation is changing all the time. Pandemic is a very good example. Nobody ever predicted, and the need for this change, everybody had to quickly adapt. There was no option. So IT needs to be very nimble and deliver to that changing needs.
Murali, thank you very much for sharing. It sounds like there were many components that you updated both within your IT infrastructure, your policies and your procedures, predictive AI, but it seems like your ability to maintain a tight relationship with your customers was key to the success, and not only during COVID, but ongoing with Omnicell. And those all circulate around Sales Cloud, MuleSoft, B2B commerce, as well as communities. So I applaud you, I applaud your company, and thank you for providing those strategic things that we need to survive and make it through COVID-19. It's been absolutely a pleasure speaking with you today, Murali.
Thank you, Jim. Good talking to you.